Hi, my name is Lynden Donner, and today I will be talking about my volunteer work that I did for the social work class. To start off, I volunteered with the Tennessee Soccer Academy, which is basically just a recreational and a competitive league of soccer. And I actually played for the what they started as when I was younger, so it truly meant a lot to me to be able to go and give back to this academy, and I got to see former coaches, and it was super fun. But basically, the Tennessee Soccer Academy is a recreational and competitive soccer academy with the dedication to provide an encouraging and nurturing environment for all players, which I think is really special because growing up, I know there were a lot of soccer leagues that weren't super positive. So, like I said before, it was very nice to be able to give back to a community that helped me a lot when I was younger, and I can be able to repay that to my team that I coached. With that, what I did for my volunteer work, I coached and assistant coached a team. So the team I coached was a girls' recreational team. So that means they were around 8 and 9 years old and they were just a rec league team. And then I was also an assistant coach for a 6U co-ed team. So the team was 4 and 5 year olds and it was boys and girls mix. So I actually had a lot of tasks. It consisted of communicating with the parents of the players, scheduling practices and making practice plans, being a strong and positive leader, and showing up to every practicing game. So we had an app that I would talk to the parents on and put all of our practices and games on there. We had practices every Monday, and then we had games every Saturday. And then the 6U team that I assistant coached for, they had practices every Tuesday and then games on Saturday. Sometimes the games would overlap and I would go back and forth, or the main coach would coach the 6U team and I would obviously coach my 10U team. So, in relating to the mission and function of the organization, my task related because TSA is always looking for volunteer coaches who will show up and create a warm and positive environment for young children. Like I said before, when I was growing up, it was hard to have some coaches weren't as warm and positive as others, and some leagues also weren't as positive as others. But like I said, this was a really fun thing to do. And like I said, I liked giving back to the community. And I would say that the players on my team and the director of TSA benefited from my work. So the director of TSA was my first soccer coach that I ever had when I started playing competitive soccer. So it really meant a lot for me and him. So he was able to see me grow as a player, and I was able to see him grow within the community from just being a soccer coach to being a director. And then coming into this experience, I was not sure if I wanted to do it being a full-time student and a full-time worker. I was just not sure if I was going to have the time or if I was going to have the energy or if I was just going to like it in general. But my dad actually convinced me that this would be a good fit for me and that I would enjoy it. And he was right, and I'm very thankful that I decided to go through with it. Speaking of that, I've always loved working with children. That is what I do at my full-time job. And so I was like, am I going to want to work with more children after my day is over with? But working with 8 and 9 year old girls who have the biggest personalities, and then 4 and 5 year olds who also have really big personalities, definitely expanded my love for children even more. I also think that the people served by the agency, so the parents, just anyone who is a part of TSA, they're lucky to have such a welcoming and warm environment for their children to learn and play soccer. And then I also think that the staff of the agency, which can include other coaches, the director, etc., I think they do an amazing job. And from being within that, I know how stressful it can be, and I can't even imagine how stressful it is for the director to manage all these teams, find coaches for them, put players on teams, find times for them to play, set up schedules. Cannot imagine how stressful that can be. So I give kudos to him because I think he does an amazing job. And throughout the entire season, I felt like everything was super organized And yeah, and when coaching, it did make me feel good about myself knowing that a group of children were depending on me to help them become better at soccer. And during the season, I received many birthday and thank you cards, which obviously made me feel even better. Knowing that every Saturday they were looking forward to coming to games to see me. I actually ended up having to coach on my birthday. And like I said, I received many birthday cards, which made my birthday even better. But overall, I think this was a great experience. And I feel like I learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot more about kids that I didn't know before. And I think this definitely is something that I am looking forward to doing next season.